So our participation was we invited people from across the city of Milwaukee to really have a conversation centered around racism. I mean, obviously with YWCA, our mission is eliminating racism and empowering women. So we wanted to have some dialogue centered around the socioeconomic disparities that are experienced by people of color. Milwaukee is known for some of the worst disparities as far as black-white gaps or Latinx white gaps. So we wanted to have some conversation centered around what are some things that people feel about race and racism in Milwaukee, in addition to what are potential solutions and some commitments that people are willing to make in order to address these disparities. The fact that we had strong table facilitators who were able to really lead this conversation within the 4 tables that we had set up, and to see that there were people who were really interested in being a part of this conversation and expressing their ideals, their values, what they've learned, what they were always educated on, whether that was growing up or what they were not educated on as far as race and racism, but just seeing all that come together and people being willing to learn from each other. I think my experience was phenomenal, just watching, people being able to really grow and learn with each other. Education, employment, home ownership. Those were the 3 main topics. These are 3 issues that they talked about in 1968 with the Kerner Commission. And here we are, almost 50 years later, still talking about the same issues because the disparities still exist. The intersectionality, which Kimberly Crenshaw is a concept that she created in the 1980s, is talking about how those issues intersect and how they continuously compound the issues that we deal with daily. So between racism, between sexism, I'm sure that those will be at the table for On the Table this year. It sets a standard which gets people more interested in having these types of conversations. When it comes to On the Table, these are conversations that you're having with people who you may not know. And I think that's important to really learn about the different backgrounds of people, regardless of race, class, sexual orientation, or what have you, political affiliation, whatever, because you're learning about them and they're learning about you, being able to use On the Table as a caveat to really elevate that conversation. We're definitely honored to be a part of this initiative with the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and we will definitely continue to be host for On the Table here at YWCA.